So if you do something well enough for long enough, eventually your brand name becomes a generic catch-all for your product. Which means we could be staring down the barrel of a future in which we jump in our CX-5 to go for a CX-5, and, on particularly long trips, take turns CX-5ing to ward off fatigue behind the wheel. That's the kind of dominant force Mazda's midsize SUV has become in its stuff-to-overflowing segment. Australia's best-selling SUV in 2016, it was also the best-selling SUV in 2015, and 2014, and 2013. You get the idea. But stiff competition from the Hyundai Tucson, Nissan X-Trail and Toyota RAV4 means the gap is closing on the popular Mazda in the battle for Australian hearts and wallets. And that's pushed Mazda into what it is calling a model step change, but what we're calling a light redesign and equipment shuffle, which it launched earlier this year. The biggest change, though, is the introduction of a new, fifth trim level, the Touring, which we've tested here, which is designed to bridge the gap between the existing Max Sport and GT trim levels. But is that enough to keep Mazda's CX-5 at the head of the pack? Is there anything interesting about its design? If it ain't broke, huh? While Mazda points out that almost every exterior panel on the CX-5 is new for 2017, if you have a good look at our picture of a 2016 model, that is very hard to believe. Clearly the good folks at Mazda know when they're onto a good thing, and only a crazy person would be rocking a boat that's proven this successful, so the changes are subtle at best. The front-end design has changed slightly, with a new 3D look grille and new thin concave strips that are designed to give the CX-5 a wider look. But even Mazda calls it an evolution rather than a revolution. Elsewhere, the new CX-5 is marginally longer than the car it replaces, but is the same width and sits on the same wheelbase as the outgoing model. But even if it hasn't changed much, it still looks a modern and fresh competitor in the mid-size SUV segment, and the Touring cabin is a fine example of Japanese almost premium, with a heap of soft-touch materials and a solid and satisfying feeling of quality at every touch point, especially in the matte gray styling elements and a steering wheel that feels great under the fingers. How practical is the space inside? It's plenty practical for passengers, less so for luggage. The cabin is light-filled and airy in the front seat, and the ergonomics, from the seating position to the cabin layout, is on point for the driver. Up front, you'll be sharing two cup holders housed in the central storage bin, and there's room in both doors for wine-sized bottles. Venture to the rear and you'll find a roomy space, with back-seat air vents, but no temperature controls, along with seat-back storage pockets, bottle storage in the doors and two cup holders hidden in a pull-down divider that unfolds over the middle seat. There are two ISOFIX attachment points, one in each window seat. Boot space, however, remains a little limited. Standard boot space has actually increased to 442 liters, but that's still not huge, and that number will grow to 1342 liters with a 40/20/40 rear seat folded flat. The 1633 kg Touring offers a brake towing capacity of 1800 kg. Does it represent good value for the price? What features does it come with? This new Touring trim slots neatly into the middle of the CX-5 lineup, above the Max and Max Sport but below the GT and top-spec Carrera. It will require a $38,990 investment for the petrol-powered vehicle we've tested here, while a diesel-flavored version will set you back a not insignificant $41,990. For that money, though, you get the same 17-inch alloy wheels, LED fog lights, dual-zone climate control and push-button start as the Max Sport, but you add powered mirrors, a head-up display, which Mazda calls its active driving display, parking sensors at the front and rear and a traffic sign recognition system that reads street signs as you pass them and displays that information on the head-up screen. Your entertainment functions are still controlled through a 7.0-inch touchscreen that's paired with a 6-speaker stereo, but you do get a better suede seat material, which Mazda calls Maztex. So what are you missing? Well, step up to the GT and you'd get bigger wheels, a better stereo and a sunroof, along with an auto-opening boot and adaptive headlights. But the Touring does successfully fulfill its brief of striking a kind of happy place that lies smack bang in the middle of the CX-5 lineup. What are the key stats for the engine and transmission? Our petrol-powered Touring gets Mazda's very good 2.5-liter, 4-cylinder unit, which will produce 140 kilowatts at 6,000 RPMs and 251 Newton-meters at 4,000 RPMs. It's paired exclusively with a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and like all Touring models, is all-wheel drive. That's enough to produce a 190 km per hour top speed, while the sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour will take a leisurely 9.6 seconds. How much fuel does it consume? Mazda claims a 7.5 L/100 km official fuel use number on the combined cycle, while CO2 emissions are pegged at 175 grams per kilometer. What's it like to drive? Slide into the Maztex line. Honestly, who names these things? Driver's seat of the Touring, and it becomes pretty clear, pretty quickly, why the Mazda is at the top of the mid-size SUV food chain. The obvious stuff is all there. The interior is beautifully put together for a car in this price bracket, and it's all very thoughtfully laid out. The engine isn't overpowered, but feels well matched to the CX-5, and offers an uninterrupted power delivery that always feels smooth and effortless. The transmission, at least when in normal mode, goes about its business seamlessly. And the suspension is just firm enough to ensure there's some connection with the road below, but is supple enough to sort out bumps and imperfections without rattling the teeth from your mouth. But there are other, more hidden gems at work here too. For one, it does a marvelous job of feeling smaller than it is. We jumped straight from the CX-5 into a genuine small SUV, and the bigger Mazda felt just as compact from behind the wheel. But the critical win for the everywhere Mazda is that it's a confidence-inspiring drive no matter which way you attack it, like all its bits and pieces are working in unison to ensure you feel in control and connected to the road below. It's not perfect. Despite an increased focus on a refined and quiet cabin this time out, the 2.5-liter petrol engine is still crazy loud under heavy acceleration, and using the sport button transforms the gearbox into a stubborn and annoying creation that clings onto gears like a drowning man clings to a flotation device. We also had trouble with the in-cabin technology. We never could get an iPhone to pair, while the system itself is a little buggy and slow to load when you first fire up the engine. What safety equipment is fitted? What safety rating? Let's start by talking standard safety stuff no matter which CX-5 you buy, because Mazda's list is among the most impressive in the industry. Every car arrives with dual front, side and curtain airbags, along with rear parking sensors, rear cross-traffic alert and a reversing camera. But you also get Hill Start Assist and AEB as part of the standard offering right across the range, which is impressive. Springing for the Touring trim adds front parking sensors and Mazda's traffic sign recognition system. All in all, it adds up to a maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating. What does it cost to own? What warranty is offered? In a world of 5- and 7-year warranties, Mazda's 3-year, unlimited kilometer warranty is a little underwhelming, and made more so by the fact that roadside assistance is a cost option, priced at about $70 per year. Still, the cap price servicing helps. Maintenance is scheduled for every 12 months/10,000 kilometers, with prices for the first, third and fifth services set at $304, and the second and fourth at $333. You'll also need to factor in a cabin air filter every 40k at $67, and brake fluid every 40k, or 2 years, at $64.